the parts they got in these engines.
John Andretti started 36th up to 13th, the biggest gainer in the field. Here goes Earnhardt to the inside on Wallace.
And he's got some push from behind, so there's a good chance he's going to get right up on Sterling before they get to the end of the back straightaway.
Nadeau leads briefly in the 25.
There's Gordon with his new engine up there. You know, he had engine failure yesterday afternoon, and there he is right in the front of the pack. So made a good call, changed that thing. He was really lucky.
Jerry Nadeau trying to become the 4th different leader of the Daytona 500 in just 9 laps. Nope. Marlin hangs on to it by inches.
Ever so close.
And why do these guys fight so hard to lead a lap? Because even though it's race 1 of 36 races, every time when you lead a lap in a race, it's worth 5 bonus points toward the Winston Cup Championship.
And you got to look at the big picture. This is a one race for the whole year.
Danbury, Connecticut's Jerry Nadeau battles Sterling Marlin for the lead in the Daytona 500. 9 of 200 laps complete. This is NASCAR on Fox.
Is brought to you by Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different. By Visa, the preferred card of NASCAR. Visa, it's everywhere NASCAR fans want to be. By Conseco. And by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
12 laps in, Sterling Marlin still leads in the Daytona 500. This year's Bud Pole Award for the race presented by Anheuser-Busch to Dodge's Bill Elliott, who won the pole in last Saturday's qualifying. But congratulates Bill Elliott and his team. But he is slipping back. 18th position right now. You can see how he has drifted back from the pole.
Yeah, you know, I think Chip Ganassi's probably calling Juan Marlin because he'll be calling him Juan before this over with. He keeps running this way after his IndyCar driver, Juan Montoya.
Boy, Ron Hornaday started 42nd, and the 2-time Truck Series champion has climbed to 5th place.
Goes to show you get in the right line, you'll go to the front.
Oh yeah, and coming from the back is sometimes a little easier than starting out front.
And we look at a lot of things here, of course, miles per hour, RPMs, but look at the throttle right here. You see the key to getting around here is going wide open. But see, as he went off in the corner, he backed off just a little bit, and as the tires deteriorate, the handling goes away, more and more in the corner, they'll have to back off the throttle to get the car to go through the tunnel, through the corners till they get fresh tires put on that thing. You see it doesn't lose many RPMs, up to 7,000 through the tri-oval right there.
And up to 3rd place.
And I'm telling the crew chief, he's saying, are you holding that thing wide open? Oh, yes, sir. I'm not lifted in it. I've had her on the mat ever since we started. Sometimes you lift and you don't even know it. Sometimes the thing is you lift up a little and don't know it. We got a lead change. All right.
Ward Burton drops down the hill in turn 2 to try to take the lead from Marlin. A lot of it depends on how much drafting help he's got going into turn 3.
Well, that 14 has given Marlin the best push. And here comes Skinner down there behind that 22 car. So boy, that was the right move right there for Hornaday to drop down in front of 22.
Now outside pole sitter Stacy Compton has dropped back to 13th. Matt?
Mike, coming into today's race, NASCAR has a rule here in Daytona. The top 2 qualifiers, their tires are impounded. Those 2 cars have to start on their tires. Stacy Compton's tires before qualifying had 20 laps of practice on them. So now he has 22 laps starting on his tires, where tire wear has been a main concern all week, pulling a number of crew chiefs. So Stacy Compton right now is patiently just riding, waiting to the first pit stop, which should be around lap 50. Steve?
Well, Matt, moments ago, Dick Berggren talked about how tightly wound that motor is in the number 2 of Rusty Wallace. Rusty has a teammate in Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 and a partner in Robert Presley in the 77. Between those 3 teams, they have been through 9 motors during speed weeks. In fact, the motors have made 2 trips back and forth from Daytona to Mooresville, North Carolina to get worked on. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Ron Hornaday in the number 14 car, an incredible run this afternoon. He's currently running right around 5th position. That car was virtually demolished in a qualifying race here on Thursday. They flew a new door in. They flew in sheet metal equipment so they could rebuild it. The whole side of that car was redone here in the garage, repainted. They just crossed their fingers they got it right. Looks like they did, Mike.
Hornaday looks pretty good, but he is about to become the meat in the sandwich.
He got in the wrong line. He made all the right moves to get to the front, but it's hard to stay there, buddy. You go the wrong way. And he's an aggressive driver, and he didn't want to follow, and he made a move there that got past. And now he's going to slide right on back to where he started.
And I know for a crew chief, and it's got to be for a driver, people don't realize you have a millisecond to make that decision which line you want to get in. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong.
It's like running into somebody in a hallway. You know, they're going one way, you're going the other, but you're doing 190 mile an hour and you don't know which way you want to go. That's what causes the cars to move around the way they do. You run up on the guy, you go left, go right. No, I can't go anywhere.
Are Dale Jarrett and Bobby Labonte running 31st and 32nd? Are those cars off, or are they biding their time?
I don't know. It's not like Dale Jarrett to bide his time, because sometimes you can get more trouble in the back. Jenny, what's going on with that 88 car?
Well, very interesting, because early out on the track, Dale was complaining that the car was a little tight. They've been trying to talk him through that. But just moments ago, they said, hey, Dale, don't get too far away from the draft. And very confidently, he responded, look, I can get up there anytime I want to. He knows this track. He's confident, guys.
Last year, he won the 500. The year before, he was in the middle of the pack. And before halfway, he got turned over.
I talked to Bobby Labonte this morning. He said his car wasn't handling very good in the 125s. He said, but I couldn't even let off enough to stay out of the draft. It's just sucking him along so fast.
Let's explain the word tight. What that means is through the corner, he's turning the wheel, but the front wheels aren't biting like they should. And a lot of times when you're behind the car, Darrell, it takes the front downforce off the nose, and the front end won't lift from an aero standpoint, so you can create two problems there.
Yeah, pushing is better than loose. If the car is pushing, that means you got the wheels turned left, and that's the direction you want to be going in. And you can control that a little better with the throttle. But if you got somebody right up on your back bumper all the time and you lift out that throttle, guess what's going to happen to you? They're going to boot you in the rear end and turn you around.
Dodges have led 18 of the 19 laps, including the first one from Bill Elliott. Last Dodge to lead the first lap of the 500, Buddy Baker, the pole winner in 1973.
Here, I'm going to show you what tight is. Watch this guy go through the corner. Watch his hand position. He pushes up the hill. He goes up the racetrack. That means he's turning the car, but it won't turn the way where he wants it to. See how much effort it takes? See all that steering input he has to put into it? It's oversteer. You can't get it to turn.
And the only thing you can do most of the time is back off the throttle.
No. That's not the only thing you can do. You can call your crew chief and raise cane.
That's all you can do.
What have you done to my car, boy? Now watch. Look at Mikey. Look at Mikey. He's got a handful. That's what we call a handful. When you get the wheel pulled way around there like that, he's got a handful of steering wheel. He's a little too tight. And you can see he's not going very fast. Tight bogs the motor down.
Lead change. Ward Burton up on the high side this time may get the lead from Sterling Marlin.
Of course, Sterling does not want to relinquish that lead. He is just hanging on. Two Dodges there, gang, side by side. And old Jerry Nadeau just kind of slipping along.
And we've had several drivers lead through turns 1 and 2, but official lead changes are only counted at the start-finish line, and each time, Martinland has held off the charge and beaten them back to the line.
Not this time. He's got the push. 22's got the push this time. Come on, baby.
Oh?
Yes.
Yes. Ward Burton leads that lap.
And
first time he's ever led the 500.
4. That's 4 lead changes.
Isn't that about as many as we had in the whole race last year? What's changed, folks, is NASCAR has allowed the engines to run a little less restricted, and a new aerodynamics package that we'll explain when we come back. 21 laps complete in the Daytona 500. Sterling Marlin out in front.